Worship him! Worship him!
This must be the farm I spoke of. Someone must have seen the lion pass through.
Any Sigirian?
Oh, great and ferocious Flavius!
I just don't give a neck anymore. Nothing will stop me. I cannot stop till Flavius's heart is in my fist. Flavius will not stop until he reaches me. draw attention here.
Hey, what?
It's Friday, bitches. It's Friday, bitches. It's Friday. What? It's Friday. Yeah, come on. It's Friday, bitches. It's Friday, bitches. It's Friday. Favorite day of the week. My radio's kicking, David Chuck for free. It's a day celebrated all across the nation. Bitches be tripping. What's up with the H-shit? Dave with the news to start of the day. Ripcord in the hot bitch beats away. It's Friday, bitches. It's Friday, bitches. It's Friday. What? It's Friday. Yeah. It's Friday, bitches. It's Friday, bitches. It's Friday. It's Friday.
Yep, good morning. It is Friday, which is the 25th of June. Thank you so much for being here with David Chuck Freak. Appreciate it here this Friday morning. Appreciate it, man. I'm just, it's one of those mornings where I'm struggling to find stuff to talk about. So, you gotta fill up. Yeah, so it should be great.
Yeah.
Not a lot happening. Funny.
Yeah, I almost didn't get up in time. So.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
I'm glad I'm here.
Glad we're all glad you're here. Glad you could make it, yeah. No, after my one night, I think my body has been catching up on that one night of sleep I missed. Right. Because, oh my God, I have slept like a log. Just passed out every single day. And it needs
Yeah.
a little more.
It can.
I agree.
The only way I would say that I agree with them is because I get like migraine headaches from like lack of sleep. And I know myself, say on Wednesday, I get a migraine headache. It will not go away until I get like to sleep for an entire 8 hours, full amount of time, however long my body needs. Like, so with an alarm going off, I'll wake up, I'm like, oh yeah, no, it's still in the back there. I can still feel it. So it's weird. It is weird. Like I can't ever just sleep twice and and it goes away. It's weird.
And they still don't have any kind of migraine medicine that works, right?
I think they just have like heavier doses of. Well, I don't have migraines in the way that other people get, where they get them all the time, and I know what triggers mine. It's like it's like when I feel it, it's like, man, I need to sleep. And but like my good buddy gets them out of nowhere all the time, and then he has to keep his eyes closed the whole time. If he opens his eyes, I can function, right? But it just sucks.
Like some people
He'll
get
throw
sick.
up. Yeah, like he'll throw up. And they do have some medicine, I think, for them, but I don't know because I've never even gone to the doctor for what I get. So
I slept good all week, but I'm tired. Like I cannot wake up. I'm like, what's wrong with me? I had tons of coffee. Everything. I'm just tired.
Yeah, your body goes through cycles.
I think so too.
Yeah, and it just,
Like, it's not
it needs
very
more.
good.
Sometimes I can operate on like 5.5 hours sleep and I feel great.
Yeah.
I just remember like when I was like a lot younger, I would be able to literally party like if I wanted to die. Yeah, like all night, and then like go work at like a restaurant at like 6 a.m. doing like hard work. Yeah, and it was like no problem. And then I drink a half a beer now, and I try to come in here, and it's like I'm recovering from heroin addiction. Yeah. One half a beer. Like half a beer now. Okay, that's why I don't even drink half a beer. I have to exercise like Drago just to like not be in horrible pain and anguish.
I remember Chuck and I, it's a long time ago, like coming in on a Saturday, we'd have to do the early Saturday morning show. We'd be in by 6 a.m. And we'd still be intoxicated from the night before. Right?
Oh yeah.
Chuck would nap during segments.
Yep.
And I'd have to wake him up
Yep.
to get back in the booth and run the news for me.
Yeah.
We
You
all
want to
do
find
that.
a Dave. You want to find a Dave. If you want to
He
be.
knew early on to find a Dave, right?
If you want to be woken up. If you want to be woken up because you have been dropped off at a radio station right from the bar. Right. You want to find a Dave. Yeah. But because before Dave, I would ask other people. Yes, of course. And they would just, and then all this sorts of You gotta find a Dave. Yeah, that's true. Find your Dave. I would go to the strip club at like 2 a.m. sometimes, and like a party or whatever. Yeah, go be on the air. And then like 6 in the morning, and one time I fell asleep at the board. Because of it, and I woke up to like all the
everyone does it.
Of course,
It's
yeah.
wild.
My first job's a radio. That's all I did. We'd party because it's just you do early mornings.
Yeah.
You do early mornings.
Yeah.
It sucks. You just can't give up the party.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember one time I threw up in the trash can in the studio.
Oh my
but I
God.
didn't have time to like change the bag before the next guy came in. So this guy comes in and he's like, walks by the trash can. He's like, "Tell me that's being Deb." It is not.
Oh my god.
Oh my God, Pete, right there. I had one morning puke in radio too in my first smaller station that I worked at. You know, Rock and Rise. which was in Winter. We got wasted. Someone broke me off at the radio station just in time for the morning show.
Yeah.
It was a bad scene. Yeah, I've done that too, where I ran into the studio like, hey, the wheel's coming up. Yeah, no. But it's just
Radio and
young
kind of,
and
that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's almost like when you didn't really think anything would work out, so you might as well have fun. I think that's kind of the way I
I
look
was
at it.
hoping
It's
that
like,
it would work out.
I didn't
So,
expect it
but
to.
I was just like, look, this time period in my life is only going to be now.
Yeah.
We're going to have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not
I knew it was
missing out.
gonna work out, but I think the reason I got into radio is because it's like a party,
Exactly.
and then I was like that guy.
Well, that's like kind of was the draw. You know, it's like this. Then you find out it's no party.
What's that? All I did was spend long nights here at the radio station trying to hone my craft.
No crazy drinking.
God. Wow. Well, that's how you end up watching a lot of MASH.
Yes,
I believe.
I'll take it.
I remember this. So it was a Friday that morning that I came in. Was dropped off at the station. Just party. Did the Friday morning show. Don't know how I got through it. That's the morning I threw up, and thought I was keeping it together enough that no one would notice.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
But
sure.
Monday morning, come in, back door, the code doesn't work. Oh no! And I went again. Finally, there was the AM station guy was inside. He let me in. I'm like, hey, my code doesn't work. He's like, oh, none of them do. They're firing that other guy today, so I changed the code. It's not me. I think that's a radio exclusive thing. Is like, because I've been at radio stations, different ones, where there's a code or like your key doesn't work or whatever, and every time, like it doesn't work, you're like, well, that's it. That's it. Back in the day, I better go grab a newspaper and see what the hell wanted had to say.
Listen, the place that we used to work at, it was in a building previous to the one that we worked at. And there was a guy who made commercials there. And someone walked in, he was the only one there. And they were like, listen, just so you know, your key card's the only one that's gonna work today. And they blew everybody out. Oh my God. Like, but didn't tell anyone. So everyone would come to the door. No, came to the door. And then they finally get a hold of him. Like, they just did do stuff like they just did.
Janky little market obviously that they know guys know.
Well, that's kind of, I mean,
I guess it was a smaller market.
it was still
It's that's another thing they do. They just like lock you out.
yeah, that's what they did. They locked everyone out.
Remember to be the code.
You just like walk right in.
It was the worst building. It was the worst.
Well, my first this radio building used to be a rotisserie chicken restaurant. They then turned into a radio station. And it still smelled like chicken in the sales offices. Yeah, you got the first radio station I worked at down in Ohio was in a barn. Did you have to do the farm report? I did. I had to catch the what was it? It's something to do with like pork. They called it something. But it was like the pork futures. Yeah, like the pork futures. I had to like reel to reel catch this horrible thing.
No, I remember the first. So I was like interning with this like local small hockey team working at the place where we started still. And it was like, I got to try and find something else. I went to a place in Saginaw, Michigan.
I don't think we've all been to a place in Saginaw, Michigan
Which,
for a radio interview.
It was
feel
just
like
a
I was
tiny
out
bit.
there,
It was
too.
a tiny building. It was like a tiny building, and there was a school bus in the back. with a radio tower built into the school bus.
Oh, maybe I
I
haven't been
swear
there.
to God. It was a tiny little AM station.
It's like white trash MacGyver.
It's what it was. I mean, it was like cut into the back, like the roof. And they were like, yeah, that's where the transmitter is if anything happens. I'm like, uh-oh. And the thing is, I mean, you know, where we started at one time was one of the biggest radio stations
In North America.
In North America. So it was a big step down, seeing how.
School bus transmitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the one in the barn you could smoke right in the studio.
You there? Stop.
Oh yeah. Well, you're in a bar.
Yeah, they didn't care.
Yeah.
The guy who owned it had like booze in his desk.
Well, that's almost universal.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Jason, your first day here for our show didn't go well.
I fell asleep when I was shadowing the person who worked here before me.
Like in the phone screener room.
Yeah, it was like one of the call-in segments, and she woke me up after the segment. I was like, oh man. Part of my old life.
Oh yeah.
Late night rolled into 4:30 here.
The party doesn't stop.
Wasn't ready for it. So,
Oh,
yeah, it almost never happened on the
Yeah,
first
it,
day.
it couldn't have been. Because, we can't see you from here. We can't
No,
see
we have
Jason.
no
Yeah.
idea.
So, basically, probably, honestly, if we had have looked up and saw that our new trainee was sound asleep, it may not have been good.
Yeah, it would.
It may not have been good.
I don't think so.
I've basically been asleep here since. So.
Yeah.
I seem to remember Jason falling asleep when I was training him on the board down here once.
Oh, wow, Jason. It's all
Jason
coming
had a wild life.
He did. He
Well,
used to.
Yeah.
Funny thing, Al, I don't remember that. So.
I didn't realize you had a wild life when you started working with us.
Yeah, it's interesting. My wild life sort of ended when I got here.
Okay.
It was
Yeah.
Hand in
twist
hand.
of fate, I guess.
Yes.
We will end your wild life
In a way.
because you have to get up at the
You have to get up
ungodly hour in the morning.
Also true.
You can do it for a little while and then it catches up to you.
That's the thing.
I couldn't even make it one day.
Yeah, well.
Someone said I used to work for my old man in construction. Can't tell you how many times I woke up from sobering up while shoveling dirt and raking concrete.
I can't see, this is the thing. Doing hard physical work and feeling sick like that. I don't know how.
No, we can't.
We're just talking and hitting a couple buttons.
Radio pussies.
Oh yeah, no, like to do actual work.
Actual manual labor.
Yeah, when you're hungover and putting a roof on.
Soul of a baboon!
One
worried
positive-
about you, gentlemen.
All I'll say is, though,
Stella
there's a
doesn't
trade-off
usually
for
go
it.
adventuring
One
for
positive
so
they
long.
have is you can be miserable.
She knows to
You
be
can,
careful.
right?
She'll bring
You can
Hetano
feel
back
that,
on
yes.
her.
We have to be like,
She always does.
Good morning.
Of
Hey,
course.
it's Friday,
Will
bitches.
she remember to bring herself back unharmed?
I am more worried that the Pharaoh's killers might
You're like having a bad day and you gotta be like, everything's great.
Sure.
Oh, God, yeah.
The sick days can be painful. Really, really painful.
Yeah, I'll be like, it's
Come on.
Someone said, hey, you think that's bad? Try working in a porn store.
Oh.
Party the night before, after closing, open the store, threw up on all the dildos and fleshlights.
Sacrilege. I can't believe you would do such a thing.
Discount. I just see discount.
See, or they just clean them and never let you know.
Yeah, I bet.
That's why you gotta smell your dildos before you buy them.
That's a hot tip that James gave me.
Is this
Smell
a fresh
your
dildo or
dildos.
is it vomited upon this dog?
Wow.
Like a cigar. Got a
There's
sour
your
smell.
James tip of the day. Smell your dildos.
Smell it before you buy it.
Before purchasing.
It's almost as good as buy it. Try it before you buy it.
Yeah.
Smell it before you buy it.
Someone said I've been doing carpentry for about 20 years. When I was younger, my party days during my 20s, so many nights, I'd party all night, go to work the next morning. On the Ryan Day, and I'd be finishing up my last beer and snorting my last line of coke.
That's party times.
About 10:30, things would start wearing off, and I'd be done.
Wow.
That is carpentry.
Different kind of carpenter than Jesus.
You're right. Man, you're right. Maybe. I mean, nobody knows. Maybe. Imagine the stuff he could just create. You're right. I turned sand into coke. Thanks, Jesus. Miracle again. Man, I don't know why I got all these sweet powers. sure.
This guy said, one Sunday I drank a ton of Fireball and beers out on a boat trying to impress a girl. That Monday, I had to get hungover as hell just to sit in a hot excavator spinning all day long, loading trucks. You're spinning around.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're going to puke.
Fireball belly.
You're going to puke.
Fireball to me, like if I think of something that could rip up my insides, Fireball tops the list.
I think it's one of the grossest things out there. I feel like it's in the same category for me. Now, listen, a lot of people still drink it all the time. But for me, it was like in the same category as like a peach schnapps. It was like one of those things that you like first drank.
Right, yes.
You know?
People rarely stick with it. Well, I guess some do, but...
yeah, no, I know people that still stick with it.
Speaking of booze, you know Aaron Paul and Ryan Cranston have a mezcal they're selling together?
I didn't know that.
I did read that, yes.
Yeah.
After it's in the booze game now, for God's
I
sake.
got a bottle, so I'll let you know how it is.
Oh,
I don't know.
I've never drank mezcal. What kind of booze would we start?
Start a booze. Malt liquor. David Chuck's malt liquor.
No.
Whoa.
So we gotta go for what would sell.
No, that's it. I mean, you have to do, I think you have to do, like, liquor.
You guys do high gravity. What's cheaper than, what's that, Mohawk? What's cheaper than Mohawk?
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's what we do.
Right?
We're like, weird
like
cheap.
$1 chuck. $1 chuck the freak.
Well, I think they would just sue us. But if you do, if you know, like, think about it. Maybe we shouldn't go for high end.
We'll go
We
cheaper
just
than
go
the cheap
the
end.
lowest of the ends.
Just make it ourselves. Let's just make some moonshine.
Bottle it up. Yeah, that idea. I don't want to taste any.
cheapest.
Yeah. Yes.
And that's our market, right?
That's it. I mean, I feel like that's the zone we're in.
In fact, we could get a deal with like Dollar General. We do dollar booze. I feel like we could have a brand new amazing market. Dollar shooters. Trademark David Chuck the Freak.
Yeah.
Dollar booze. Dollar booze. David Chuck's dollar booze. Things are really sad. Are you at the lowest point in your life?
When taste doesn't matter.
David Chuck's
It would
dollar
be terrible.
booze.
Can be used to clean things.
Multi-use.
Yeah, right.
Rust stains.
Yeah, there'll be all these like YouTube videos about like, hey, I had a bunch of rust on this thing, but I just had some Dave and Chuck's dollar booze. Poured it on there, it looks brand new.
I love that it doesn't even specify what kind of booze.
No,
It's just some kind of.
No,
they've invented a new kind of
booze.
alcohol.
Yeah.
It's just called booze.
Yep.
What is it? Rum?
Is it
Could be
gin?
vodka. Could be gin. It's
We
dollar
don't-
booze.
We don't know. We threw a bunch of stuff in, made it in a toilet.
It's booze.
Can you sell it in a donger-shaped test tube?
Absolutely. That might
If it doesn't,
bump up the cost. We're gonna have to
Yeah.
keep it real simple.
yeah,
$2.
yeah, we're gonna have to get a sticker of that. That would be it.
Someone said throwing up during military training at 5 a.m. after leaving the bar at 2. Horrible.
Those guys are so tough.
Oh,
well, the thing is, they're all like 21 years old.
Yeah.
18 to 21. It's like,
So they're superhuman.
you know, you can handle it when you're that young.
A lot of people that would buy $1 Chuck the Freak.
Oh my god.
This guy's had worked at a mattress store. Actually, the best place ever to have a hangover.
Yeah.
Well, if you can sneak into one of the mattresses.
Well, I guess so, yeah.
Someone said, David Chuck malt liquor. A disgustingly bad taste.
But cheap. Super cheap. Yeah.
You want to get wasted and don't care about flavor?
Yep.
That's how you do it.
6 packs of 40s.
All right, we got an email from a listener here. She says, love the show, listen every morning.
Whoa.
I knew you guys were the only ones I could turn to for this. I'm going to try and keep it as vague as possible to keep us anonymous. So, my husband gets a new device, and I kept his old one to use for some of my mobile games. His Google account, though, was still connected. And I saw his current search history on the old device.
My god.
I'm not sure what prompted me to check it, but I was seeing some porn pics and different things he searched for. And to be honest, it was at first kind of a turn on to see what he pleasures himself to. It also made me more comfortable with my sexuality looking at porn myself. So all good things. But then, I discovered some of the pictures were from she-male sites. I thought maybe they were just in the mix of other pictures and he looked at them out of sheer curiosity.
And sometimes those kind of pictures were all he was looking at. Now, she says, I'm not saying this is bad. I myself fantasize about being with women sometimes, so I maybe get the thrill of the forbidden can be a turn on, but he knows that about me. But he's never said anything to me about this. Now I can't help but being concerned. Would he leave me in the future because I can't give him something he wants? Or am I being crazy? Should I be concerned that he wants something else? Or am I reading too much into this? I should mention we've been together over 7 years. The sex is great, very fulfilling. Any input you guys have would be really appreciated. Obviously, I don't want to go to my friends with this. You're the only ones I can turn to.
I don't think you sweat it. I don't think just because a dude's looking at something means that's what he wants.
Yeah, like I know jerking dude is like hard to like get in the mind of that. Yeah, it's like it's a wild world. There's no way for a girl to truly know what's really going on inside the
noggin. Chuck, you said many times I don't know what you look at online, and I never do want to know. Yeah. But I feel like
I've seen it all.
You come across stuff you would never intentionally search out, right?
Yes, but also, so there is a site. It's all cam related, okay? But on this cam site, it's like you could break it down. You could go women. You could watch women. You could watch men. You could watch trans. You could watch couples. Okay, it's a big site. People probably know which one I'm talking about. But when you first log on, it just shows you everybody. It just shows you the top out of everything being watched. Okay. What is almost every single time the number one thing being watched?
She-male?
It's like a she-male and a girl. It's almost like so many times. I'm like, wow, look, that's number one. So like, we know if it's like 1 in 10 of guys, or even if it's like a little bit higher than that, it's like, you know, guys are actually like into guys. It's way more. There's way more people watching
than are actually into it.
Than are actually into it in that physical way.
But to linger there.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it, and I don't know if it's like a, you know, I talk about it all the time, where it's like these weird, you know, because a lot of the times on a site like that, like you'll click on something and you'll be like, oh yeah, I don't know, I'm watching some girl or whatever, and it's like a girl just talking, and then all of a sudden you realize, no, that's not a girl.
She's got a dong.
Right. So I don't know if these guys get like some kind of weird, like, man, what?
I think
that's so twisted up.
Some dudes that believe that watching like a she-male on a girl is more straight than watching a guy and a girl.
Yeah, like
there's some dudes that think that it's more straight, like it because it's almost like
right, because it's
yeah, like two girls almost.
Yeah. I don't understand that, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
This guy said, totally straight male here. I would never cross that line, but I have definitely watched she-male and female. I wouldn't search it out, but when it comes up, the curiosity's there just to see what's going on.
So I think there is an element of that. Like Lisa said, I mean, depending on how much this guy is like going to the sites and how much time he's spending there and stuff like that, it can be a little bit of a red flag.
Another one said, if a dude is jerking off to a certain kind of porn, that doesn't mean by any means that's what he wants. A guy will jerk off to almost anything, doesn't matter as long as it's sex. I don't know about that. I still think it's got to arouse you in some way for you to finale to it.
But this is the thing, I think there's like a taboo element of porn that is out there. I mean, because incest stuff is insane. It's
that's
all
like the number.
simulated.
That's what I thought you were going to say. The number one thing. Was,
oh, okay, yeah. Well,
see.
they don't have that stuff like on like a regular cam. They won't say like whatever, but like that kind of stuff and like, oh, I'm stuck, and it's always, oh, it's my stepsister is stuck. It's my, you know what I mean? It's like these things that people would never do. They wouldn't do it, but it's that taboo nature, and there's something about that part of the brain. That is like...
It's like watching a car wreck, right? You can't help
something.
but look sometimes.
There's something going on with like taboo nature and that and
There is, 'cause
porn.
it's just like almost like a regular porno, but just because they put like stepsister and all that like
Yeah,
riles
like, and
dudes
you know,
up.
like, and the thing is, it'll be like, well, I have sex with whatever, and it's like one guy it's a black guy and a white girl, and they're supposed to be brother and sister. It's not.
Right.
You know what I mean?
they're never
Like,
related.
that's what I mean. Like, it's
hopefully.
not, and I think people know, but it's just
They suspend reality.
It's-
that little bit of taboo.
that's what I do. I think, like, the guys who make porn have realized that there's some kind of correlation there.
Taboo.
And trust me, it gets much darker
Oh, I'm sure.
than that, you know? Like, it gets much darker with, like, we're gonna, there's the break into your house, like strangling.
Sure.
All sorts of crazy stuff, but...
Someone said she's definitely reading too much into it. Many heterosexual men are into watching trans porn. Not a big deal. Someone else said just because he's watching it doesn't mean he's gay. She's got nothing to worry about. I guess these are a lot of guys that watch it too.
Yeah. Well, like I said, the numbers are off the chart. So there's something more going on.
I get why she doesn't questions it.
And I also
understand
that
it.
too.
Just I don't know.
I also get why a guy wouldn't say, "Hey, listen, like part of my porn stuff is I check out, trans porn every once in a while." Like, you're not going to say that as a straight guy. You never would.
So she says here, should she say anything about it to him? We try to communicate. I don't feel like we really have any secrets, so this is eating away at me. I really want to make sure he's happy and satisfied in our marriage. Should she address it after seeing that in his history?
It might freak him out.
Yeah, I don't know.
It might make him mad too that you.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you're taking a risk, and like like I said, I mean, I don't. There's probably like a 20-80 shot that he's actually gonna. That's what he wants to end up being with.
What if she goes out and strap on his private?
Yeah, that's another suggestion coming up here is that maybe she should consider pegging. I don't know. Like, again, I always say that if that's not what she wants, you know what I mean? Right. Just to break that out, thinking that he wants something in his butt.
Surprise!
Yeah, just surprise him. Well, and the thing about like any kind of thing like that is like it's they're having sex with a girl. You know what I mean? They're having just normal sex with a girl. It's not about back stuff.
Yeah.
It's just like Andy said, there's an element of people that are like that somehow is straighter than me watching a guy do it. Like, why would I watch a guy? Why do I want to see a guy? There are guys that think that.
Yeah. No, I know there are.
Someone said I think the best way for her to address it would be for them both to watch porn together and then her to randomly pick one of these scenes and see how he feels about it.
You gonna do like a Rorschach test? Like,
Yeah. What do you see? Like an ink blot?
This would make you feel.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the way
I
to do
think
it.
he would just go into full denial mode. He's not gonna feel anything.
I mean, again, it's getting away there. I think a lot of women, if they saw a search history of guys turning away at them. But whether she addresses it or not, it could cause some big reasons. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, that's up to you. If you really cannot get this out of your head, then I guess it's worth saying, hey, I didn't mean to snoop, but we're still signed into your account, and I noticed you like this kind of stuff. Jerry's with us here. Hi, Jerry. Good morning. How are you?
Hi, good morning.
What's your comment on this?
I'm doing good. I basically just want to say for the woman that's worried about men or her husband watching she-male porn, not to worry too much about it. He's probably not seriously into it like that. Like, he's not going to leave her for a she-male or anything because it would complicate life too much. At most, he'd probably be really excited if she offered to peg him.
Are you speaking from experience?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're into that, but you'd never consider it in real life?
No.
And have you brought pegging into your bedroom?
Yes, I have. And my wife knows about my fantasies and whatnot.
And has no problem helping you?
She was surprised, yeah. yeah, she was surprisingly really positive about it and just wants to help make me happy.
So there's like the best case scenario that it can go, where you actually have a conversation about it and you actually like make your sex life better. And you know, it's like whatever you guys get up to in your own bedroom is whatever you guys get up to in your own bedroom. I always think there's way more stuff going on than people ever
would talk about,
could ever imagine.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Jerry.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, man. Thanks for calling in. Glad it worked out for you.
Yep.
Man,
Thanks
prepare
for
to
having
peg.
me.
All right, see ya.
So he was watching it with the fantasies of that, though.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the other side of it.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
there is a chance what she could do is randomly choose like a pegging porn.
Yeah, because he's not watching that. He's not watching.
Right.
He's just watching.
You'd think that I'd be watching
women.
Well, at least once in a while, right? Like if that's
really was
if
something
that's
you're
my
into.
thing, I'd be watching that. It'd be in the mix.
Right. Voice changing technology. Anonymous with us here. Hi, Anonymous. How are you?
Oh, just nothing.
All right. What's your comment?
So, as a bisexual male, I know that I've been with my girlfriend for almost 4 years, and she knows about it. It's not intuitive at all, and it's also wanted that I would be with a man. My friend actually came to me recently with the same concern, just found out that his boyfriend was also bisexual and had the same concern. I agree with what that person suggested, like, you know, watching some porn together and just randomly picking one and seeing how he reacts to it. Trying to warm him up to the idea if he's interested in
going down that road.
Those type of activities, yeah.
So have you asked your girlfriend to peg or anything like that, and she said no?
Yeah, she's not into it. She said she doesn't like it.
And you understand that, right?
I can understand her being somewhat uncomfortable, but would you want your significant other to be somewhat unsatisfied? Like, the rest of her sex life is great.
It's just your butt that's suffering.
She doesn't get down with that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Anonymous. Thanks for calling in. You have a good day. See ya.
But I mean, I think on a small scale, I think this goes on all the time with different people. Like, there's girls out there that want it to be a little bit more, you know, like a BDSM style thing, and maybe you're not as into it, but then every once in a while, you do something like that.
It's hard when he's saying he's bisexual. So I mean,
Well,
she's
when
got
you're flat
something.
out saying that, I mean,
She doesn't
that's
have
more
what
advanced.
he wants.
Yeah, no, that's way more advanced. You know, but I think that there are people that are like, yeah, I'm bisexual, but I have a girlfriend right now. You know, or I'm bisexual, I have a boyfriend right now. But I mean, like, I think just depending on who they meet and who's the coolest, that's the person that they're with at the time. Right. But you can't provide the other thing. You just can't. No. You don't have it.
So, bottom line for this one. What do you guys think? Should she confront him or not?
I think if you're going to do anything, that porn idea is probably the one to go.
Really, you do?
But not with, like, don't go right to, like, oh, my God, just out of the blue, the first one I picked is...
normal porn.
I think peg.
Oh, peg.
I would go peg first, and I would try to see.
Peg first.
I'd go, like, normal porn, and then, like, know that there's something where the girl ends up doing that. Or even just starts to be around that area of the guy. And see if he's... Because they probably have never done anything like that.
I think, you know, the more I thought about it, the more I think maybe she has to address it somehow, because it will eat her.
Yeah, because
She won't, you know,
either
she
be
won't
honest
just...
or ignore it.
Yeah, that's it. And it'll probably lead to problems if she doesn't address it. Because she'll be thinking, her thoughts will go crazy.
But I think there's a way to do it, like, in the same way that we're trying to get UFO information out. It's like a slow process.
Yeah.
You know, like, you can't go too quick because people will freak out. So you go slowly but surely. Yeah. You have have to plot out a course and stick to it. And I don't think she should just flat out be like, I just saw that you watched like 25 hours of female porn. Like, that'll go back. Take it easy. Break into it slow. That'll go back.
All right, let us know how it works out. Email at daveandchuckthefreak.com. Always make sure when you send us an email, you give us the follow-up, too. We appreciate that. Coming up right now, we're going to get to our first check of the news on this Friday, bitches. Did another incident on a Metro Detroit road lead to gunplay and a chase? Why did a Massachusetts driver intentionally crash into two men on motorcycles? And what's the latest on that Florida condo collapse? Let's find out as we check the news.
Sir, news from the underground.
I'm Dave Hunter. It is time now for a check of the news. So we were talking about that partial collapse of a Florida condo in the Miami area. And amazingly, all day yesterday, I'm like, wow, still one dead. That's so shocking to me. Like, half a building collapsed. How is that possible?
Yeah.
Now it appears that there's about 100 still unaccounted for, right? And unfortunately, that's horrible, but it makes a little more sense. Here's the latest from Fox 13. I'm Tim Beck.
We are getting our first look at the faces of the missing. These are parents, grandparents, daughters, sons, their families. They're all sharing photos as they hope that their loved ones are alive in the rubble after this catastrophic collapse of a 12-story condo tower near Miami. Okay, here's what we know so far. 102 people have been accounted for. 99 people are still missing at this hour. One person is confirmed dead. Just a couple of hours ago, the governor issued an emergency declaration order to help families impacted by this tragedy. And this now opens up federal aid that can be used to help them find new homes. And President Biden is pledging to help too.
I say to the people of Florida, whatever help you want the federal government to provide, we're waiting. Just ask us, we'll be there.
Now, as the search for survivors continues, there are more questions than answers tonight. We have the latest on the investigation from Surfside, plus an engineer is weighing in on how such a catastrophe could happen in the first place. We're going to be in tonight with Fox 13's Jennifer Holton near the scene. Jen.
Well, the latest numbers we have at this hour are the same that we had around 5 p.m. 99 people are unaccounted for, according to the Miami Beach mayor. These firefighters have been out here on the scene since 1:48 in the morning. They plan on being out here all night. They are not stopping. We know that at least 60 firefighters have been working alongside 4 rescue dogs. There is a parking garage under this 12-story condo building that firefighters have been able to sort of tunnel through and get to some of the units inside. They're also using sonar, and Fire Rescue says firefighters have heard sounds possibly of people banging, but they have not heard voices. They pulled 35 victims from the structure today. 2 were pulled from the rubble. 4 patients were transported to the hospital, and still at this hour, 1 has been confirmed dead. We caught up with State CFO and Fire Marshal Jimmy Petronas when we first arrived here. He toured the rubble today alongside firefighters. Here's how he described it.
The floor is the best way to describe it is this stack of pancakes. The top pancake is the roof of the building. So it looks just like what I'd say. And as those men are digging in through the tunnels, or actually work through the garage to create tunnels to get into it, they will dig, cut, shore up, dig, cut, shore up. And they only can work about 15 to 20 minutes at a time due to exhaustion. Can't bring heavy equipment in there when you still have a building that is vulnerable to other potential failures because of the state it's in.
Now, a few hours ago, we saw some movement on the north side of the building where crews were working, but Fire Rescue or the mayor has not announced anyone being pulled from the rubble during their last several press conferences. Now, my photographer and I traveled a little up north on Collins Avenue to go to the Family Reunification Center earlier tonight. We spoke with a woman whose husband and brother-in-law have been missing. He was inside of this condo building. She last spoke to him at 11 p.m. last night. She told me that her youngest daughter nearly fainted when she had to give a DNA sample to authorities to use as a possible matching DNA if they were to find his remains. So,
Brutal. Did you see the video of the crash?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a video of it? I didn't see it.
Oh my gosh. It's crazy.
It just so unexpected because I guess, like, I don't know. It's one of those things where you just assume that with code enforcement and everything, stuff like this would be impossible.
I think someone said something yesterday.
There's the video.
Well, like, and look, like that part's still up, and then all of a sudden it goes to. Well, someone called us and was like, "Oh man, maybe it was a sinkhole." I think that's the leading.
Well, I read it's in other reports it's shoddy construction. One structural engineer said that to me is just it wasn't built right in the first place.
Yeah, like whatever I read yesterday said that they knew the building was sinking a certain amount per year. That they knew like that it was like lowering.
It's frightening how many other buildings are like that.
I don't know.
It's going to lead to some big changes for buildings there, right? They may have to close other buildings down as they investigate. And
I heard that some tenants, like the night before, had heard like the building making sounds, and really, yeah, there were like creaks and like a kind of a little bit of a crash.
Well, you think it would, it wouldn't just happen like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like things
that.
fail, like you're hearing a rebar snap
Right.
or whatever.
But you would
there.
never assume the building's going to crash to the ground, right? Like, what was that noise? It was maybe just something in another condo. Somebody dropped something, or
Especially, it's been around this building for a while, so.
40 years old, I think. They said.
The video looks like when they implode the casinos in Las Vegas.
Exactly.
absolutely.
That's exactly what it looks
Which is
like.
shocking to know that it wasn't an explosion, right? They're not mentioning anything about an explosion.
Right.
They think it's just structural issues. I mean, this building just finally collapsed after so long.
It's so sad.
It's
so sad.
It is horribly sad because there's no way. I mean, if they find people alive.
If they find people alive, they're just pure luck where somehow in a little cavity that didn't, you know what I mean? I'm sure
Amazing
they're
they
very
saved that
injured.
kid right away. I keep seeing video of him getting saved.
He's probably in over the top.
Right. He was in there with his grandma.
There's some of the pictures I saw, like you could see literally it stopped at someone's bed. Like there was no, they were lying in bed. Like they would have looked right down out into the 12 stories below.
Man, that'll change it.
Right, like look, there's twin beds right there, right, bunk beds, right on the edge of that collapse. It's absolutely
They
insane.
really need to look into the building, any other building they.
Oh, for sure.
They're gonna have to look at everybody's. I mean, if it wasn't, and like, if there are buildings where they know, like, well, yeah, that's within the acceptable, 1 inch per year sink. It's like, well, wait a second. Like, if any of that's true, because you don't know what's true and what's not.
No, you
They'll
don't.
figure
And is
it
that
all
company
out.
still even in business that built that?
Well, that's it. You don't know.
Anyone could still be able to. Who knows? They'd have to prove it was done intentionally, and there were issues along the way that weren't rectified. All right. In other news this morning, yet another day of road rage. Yet another day of road rage leading to gunplay. This one in Metro Detroit. An accident leads to a shooting that ended in a car chase, and then an arrest. Here's that story now from Fox 2 News.
Well, I've seen some really crazy stuff over here.
Yeah.
Yes,
Today was just another Thursday.
literally.
A two-car accident involving a Great Charger and white pickup truck led to gunplay and a police chase Thursday. It started at 8 Mile and Hayes in Detroit around 5 p.m. East Point police say someone in the Great Charger opened fire at the pickup truck after the accident. Taylor Manning initially thought the gunshots were fireworks.
It was probably about 8 or so consistent do, so after that, I was like, well, that's a possibility, but then my friend messaged me and she's like, Haley, what happened? And I was like, I guess that wasn't fireworks.
Police say that shooting led to a chase at East Point. The gunman firing shots from the car at the pickup truck. East Point officers spotted both vehicles and gave chase while they continued to elude police. Driving through residential streets like Normandy and Semron, officers eventually stopped both cars and brought the chase to an end on Stevens and Schroeder, arresting both drivers without incident. Thankfully, no one was hurt.
You got innocent people out here. Somebody, mama, anybody could have been out there, and you just jump out and start shooting because somebody can hit your car. Bro, you take that mother to the insurance and get it fixed. You ain't dead, you ain't hurt. It ain't nothing but a car.
That's it.
All right, guys, sorry about that hiccup earlier. East Point police still investigating that shooting and chase.
gruesome before.
I wish
I'm guessing
there's a bad
I
weird
hope it's
video
a-
edit. There's a wrong edit or something.
It's more likely.
Yeah.
The next hiccup.
Oh my goodness. Pardon me. Hold on, where I get my straw out.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a hiccup straw.
The hiccup drop. A crazier incident involving gunplay in Boston. So from the sounds of it, and we'll hear more in the story, it sounds like two guys on motorcycles were shooting at each other. Someone saw it and ran their car into them to try and get them to stop. Is that insane?
Everybody just thinks they're in an action movie now.
That almost seems like you are, you know?
That's insane.
You don't see a lot of motorcycle shootouts.
No, you don't.
Other than action movies.
If somebody I knew, like if Chuck had this happen to him where he said he hit two people in a, every time I'd like introduce him to somebody, I'd be like, this is my friend The Rock from action movies.
Yeah. Well, one time I ran over two guys on motorcycles and had Uzis.
Yeah, right, they were shooting at each other, so he just stopped.
It's what you do, you know? It's what you do.
He took his Jeep right over top of them.
Yeah.
All right, here's the story from WHDH out of Boston. Take a listen.
Thank God that the bullets didn't hit anybody in our house.
Sky 7
Those aren't motorcycles.
Motorbikes. Scene comes to a crashing conclusion.
That is a Vesper
Shots are
or whatever.
exchanged in
Moped.
broad daylight.
And we have one in custody. Firearm recovered. Unknown at this time if someone shot. We're checking on victims now.
I saw the commotion from outside of my window. I saw one of the cars hit the scooter, and I heard about 4 gunshots.
Savannah Hernandez says one of those bullets whizzed through her apartment, piercing a window and shattering the glass.
It was very scary.
Police sealing off the intersection, laying out evidence markers. Witnesses telling us 2 men on motorbikes were shooting at each other before a driver hit the 2 bikes with his car, causing them to crash.
It was a car that hit the scooter, so trying to stop the shooters.
One man took off on foot. The second was held down by neighbors until police arrived. Stop!
One guy got away. He ran straight up the street on the side street, and the other guy was down on the ground, and they held him there until the police came.
Canines were called to the scene. 1 gun recovered by detectives. No one hit by the gunfire, but all this way too close for comfort. People who live around here.
And nobody was in the line of fire. Thank God.
I'm glad that my family's safe. I'm glad that my neighbors are safe. I'm glad that nobody got hurt in the crossfire.
All right, at this point, it appears that nobody was hit by the gunfire, and police tell us that everything that happened remains under investigation. In Dorchester, Steve Cooper, 7 News.
Yeah, so that person intentionally ran into them to try and stop the shooting.
Yeah. You don't see a lot of shootings in big budget films with motorcycle versus moped style scooter.
Those are just scooters.
That's like I don't know what that guy was thinking. You're not gonna catch a guy on a motorcycle, and you're not gonna escape a guy on a motorcycle.
Maybe you have like you know, like
Seems like he was the one that was shooting though, because all the shell casings are right
I
around
feel like
his.
you've got short guy syndrome or something, right? You know, like you've got motorbike syndrome.
Moped NB.
Yeah.
Because like you definitely see like the markings of where the bullets went into stuff are all by the motorcycle.
So the guy on the moped drive your car into 2 people is the craziest. Right. You're gonna break up a shootout, right? With your car.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Put your seatbelt on.
That's right. It's my time to shine.
That's what you've been waiting for.
Hold on.
Don't get the pedals wrong.
I'm gonna kill these 2 dudes.
Don't get them wrong.
My time to shine.
Gun it.
All right, we haven't heard from Benkin in a while, but she's on the case again. People claim they paid thousands of dollars for merchandise from a tile shop in Pinellas Park, and they just never saw it. So who do you call? Call Benkin.
That's right.
Does she get them what they need? Let's find out here from WFLA TV. Take a listen.
The owner of the title company had some pretty memorable excuses when I tracked him down back in 2019, and now a growing number of customers tell me they're hearing the same excuses and they want their money back.
What we did not get was any of the grout, the mastic, or the trim.
When Paul Nealon remodeled his whole house and needed lots of tile, he thought K&S Tile in Pinellas Park was the perfect fit.
Great salesman, great selection of tile.
Paul's house looks great now, but he tells me he only received part of the tile from K&S, even though he paid more than $5,000 in full.
After excuse, he ended up buying the rest of the tile from another company.
Very aggravating. Discouraging that he could get away with it.
If this sounds familiar, it should. Keith Lysenko found himself on the other end of the medical beacon microphone in August 2019, answering questions about missing tile and refunds from other customers. He invited me in, showed me the books, and claimed his materials, including some customers' tile, was, get this, confiscated in a court eviction case.
I had a lawyer, I had receipts for the tile that purchased. This is their receipt. They paid for it in full. And he goes, well, they should have picked it up. So that's sold.
Back then, he promised to give refunds for every customer he failed to deliver tile to, and had this unusual excuse for the delay. The state froze his bank account over a sales tax dispute. Nearly 2 years later, the Better Call Bank and phone line is lighting up again. People saying they're hearing the same excuses. So I went back to K&S. I didn't find Keith, but I found this little note on the door, which says he can't open until he pays sales tax.
Wow, look at this place.
Another thing that caught my attention, it looks like he left the place in a hurry, leaving piles of tile. So it was time for a house call.
Oh, boy.
I discovered Keith moved out weeks ago, leaving customers like Paul little hope of getting their money back.
What do you think needs to happen here?
I think it needs to be held accountable. Make restitution as best he can to everybody that he's taken money from.
And I'm not the only one looking for Keith from K&S Tile. The landlord where he ran his tile business tells me she can't find him either, and she is owed for months of unpaid rent.
Well, sure.
He spent all that money on those shirts, tiles, the rugs.
Yeah. Say no to rugs. I didn't realize it said that. I just saw that it said tile, and it had like a red. It said say no to rugs?
Yeah, say no to rugs. Say no to rugs.
He took his cats and he took his shirts and got the hell out of there.
Yeah, you're going to want to do extra research on a tile guy that looks like Richard Petty that's wearing that Dare shirt for his business.
I think you do very well in Florida if you look like Richard Petty.
I only buy my tiles from Richard Petty. Great salesman looked just like Richard Petty. Had a pair of glasses on.
He made his shirt like the old Dare shirts, but
he said all these tile puns on there.
My God. I really wanted it to work out. I wanted a friend.
Hell of a salesman. Hell of a salesman.
Yep.
You know?
Richard Petty's Tiles and More.
He just hates paying taxes.
He does. Or paying people.
Yeah.
All right, this was a weird day in Los Angeles. Not what people would normally expect. A herd of cows stampede through Los Angeles after breaking free from a slaughterhouse. This is one of those news videos that has one of those annoying little music beds underneath it. Keep your eye on this big guy that goes down, because he really struggles to get up.
Oh, well.
When he
cow got him?
He is in the line of the stampede. This happened about 8:35 at night in Pico Rivera, California. The Los Angeles County Sheriff Department responded to calls. Several cows in the area. So there's the big guy down, right?
Yeah.
There's the big guy down.
He's rolled out of there.
Yeah. He did, but
stop driving.
Just wait. He has a hard time getting up.
Oh, wow.
Cows were running down streets, cutting from neighborhood yards, trampling bushes. They had a ton of calls into the 911 call center. One person was injured. I believe that big lad there. One cow had to be put down because it was in an accident. Deputies were called to the scene to help corral the wandering animals and warn people to steer clear of the area while this was going on. Authorities 2 hours to move the herd into trailers. Most of the cows had been detained by about 2 hours later, but one wily cow was still on the loose. Then eventually all were caught.
They said one of the cows was going after a baby, so they killed it.
Okay, so here's the big guy that cannot seem to get up here. He tries.
That's just his knees. I think that's just his knees failing him, honestly. I don't think he was really hurt, but he's...
I thought it was just his weight failing him.
Listen, it gets tougher and tougher. I know, like, I can't let myself fall down. I'm not falling down.
Chuck's down.
Like, I think he fell down.
Well, I mean, like, his only tactical moves when he did fall was to roll.
Like, yeah, his escape plan was roll. You know?
We always said, though, if they escape a slaughterhouse, they should be free, right?
I know.
But they just can't roam around LA neighborhoods.
It should be like winning the cow lottery. Exactly. It's like, wow, so one of you cows was smart enough to flip the gate.
Yep. So you get to go now. But unfortunately not the way it looks.
Yeah, no, they're all dead.
And then this is a nice story, and not they're all dead, just one.
Well, no, they're all going to be
well, eventually now. Eventually now, yeah. A principal in Palm Coast, Florida, named Jeff Reeves is going viral. He wrote a note for every graduating senior at his school. 459 personalized notes for every single graduate. And he left them on their seats before they got their diploma. Here's that story from Fox 35.
Even though there was some setbacks, I had a great senior year.
Despite the pandemic, Lovey Haley, a Matanzas High graduate, is extremely positive.
Just worked hard at home. It's just been a crazy year.
Hard is an understatement for Lovey, who graduated with her AA degree 2 weeks before she was able to turn her tassel at her high school graduation.
Online school, I've had to teach myself a lot of new things.
All during COVID-19.
I wanted to recognize her effort.
And all of her achievements written down by memory by her favorite principal, Jeff Reeves.
Showed tremendous grit and perseverance and pushed through and did an amazing job in spite of everything.
But Lovey wasn't the only one. For the past 8 weeks, Jeff Reeves has written a personalized note to each and every one of his 459 graduates to congratulate them on a remarkable job well done.
Most students, I knew who they were, what's going on, and looked at their transcripts and see how they are going or what they accomplished, and just wanted to note that.
In hopes that all 459 students,
I thought it was very thoughtful.
Look back and see the positive, and not just the year they graduated during a pandemic.
I still have mine. I'm going to keep it forever. I mean, it's so special, and I'm going to keep it with my diploma forever.
Andrea Lyon, Fox 35 News.
That's a good dude.
Yeah.
You know, like, that took him a lot of friggin' time.
Oh, sure.
Handwritten notes.
Handwritten notes for 459 kids that are graduating. And it was a crap. I feel for all the kids this year, and no matter what grade they were in, it was crappy. You know, all the graduates that missed out on their final year, and, you know, that's, for some of us, that was our best year of school, right?
Yep.
Partied the most.
Right.
Had all of this stuff.
Explored life.
Yeah.
In many different ways. But, there'll be other good times to come, so kudos to that dude. We'll take a break. When we come back in just a moment, Celebrity Dirt and Sports News is up next. Which star is coming out with their own line of magic mushrooms? How did the TV show The Office help save a little girl's life? And we look back on Conan O'Brien's 28-year run on late night TV. That's all straight ahead. We'll be back in a moment on Dave and Chuck the Freak.
Previously on Dave and Chuck the Freak.
Finish this. Am I the only person who has never...
Am I the only black guy who's never had sex with a black chick?
I think there are a lot of black guys that are attracted to white women, right?
Yeah, I like my women like I like my chickens. All white meat.
My wife's the same, and she's only into...
She likes tall white guys.
You're like white as a cloud.
What? Are you kidding
are
me?
the whitest dude
Shut your mouth.
who's ever been born.
That is not true.
It is
I know so many whiter dudes than you.
No. Not many.
You really think I'm like one of the whitest guys alive?
Oh my gosh.
Guys, come on.
Sorry.
Give me an example of how white I am. I don't believe you
Button-down
are white.
t-shirt.
I have to listen every day to the show.
Slacks, the blue
Clear
and
the
white
way.
shirt that you have, it's like a Hawaiian shirt with like a red underneath, rock ports that are slip-on. So yeah, you score pretty high on the white scale.
It's Dave and Chuck the Freak.
DraftKings Sportsbook is putting you courtside. Pick any basketball team that's still in contention, bet $1, and if that team wins, you'll win $100 in site credits. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code RIF when you sign up. That's code RIF, R-I-F, only at DraftKings Sportsbook. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline at 800-270-7117. 21 and up, Michigan only. Wager paid out in site credits. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full terms and conditions.
Don't get you high today, 'cause it's Friday. We ain't got no job. And we ain't got shit to do.
It's Friday, bitches. It's Friday, bitches. It's Friday.
Coming up 7:30 on a Friday, bitches, the 25th day of June. Thanks for being here on Dave and Chuck the Freak. We have a listener who has a bit of a dilemma. Does he sleep like a lady? He said, I was going to sleep like I do every night when I do notice something different. I sleep just like my girl. I haven't been able to stop analyzing this because now I think I'm a feminine sleeper. As long as I can remember I've slept like this, who knows how many women I've turned off through the years.
Yeah, I already know what he does.
Okay, well, what do you think he does before I tell you?
Puts the knee up. Does he lay on his stomach with he puts the knee up?
That's it.
Yeah.
Sleeps on his stomach or side in a ball, legs curled up, with his hands up near his face or neck.
When he puts his knee up.
He sent some pictures of it, so we can see.
It's really
like this.
Who there? Yeah, he's fully clothed. There's that. There's one.
That's him or his lady?
That's him.
He's a very feminine dresser. That purple shirt.
Yeah. I like the sleeves rolled up.
Thing I see.
And his white belt.
Yeah.
I like the sleeves rolled up. And
Is that, did he borrow his mom's blouse for this photo?
He's like an Easter blouse.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Easter.
Maybe it was.
He's wearing an Easter blouse. He did not expect this, let me tell you.
James.
I'm sorry.
I thought it instantly, and I was okay. Edit. Save. And then James just.
Is that him or his lady?
I'm sorry. If the stuff that gets said about me on this show, I'm going to let this guy know he's wearing a feminine top.
I loved it.
Andy said an Easter blouse, and I said
He sent a picture of his friends like making fun of him because he passed out and was sleeping like this, and then there's his Easter blouse.
Who took the photo of the purple shirt?
I don't know. I don't think that's an overtly feminine way to sleep.
I sleep the exact same way. I sleep with my hand holding my face in the same way.
You cradle your face?
I don't want my head on my pillow. I want my hand on the pillow and then my head on my hand. And I sleep like this. And I will wake up every once in a while with a handprint on my face like a orc from Lord of the Rings.
Like this. Dude sleeps like a lady.
Yeah, I do that one.
Dude sleeps like a lady in a Easter blouse.
It's very strange that he said
Dresses like a lady.
Well, it's like the inside of the blouse looks like it'd be kind of like ruffled, almost like the top from Seinfeld. They're just purple.
Yeah, I mean it's not.
I don't think it's that bad. I think it's just a purple dress shirt where he's rolled the sleeves up.
Anyone else think he's rolled way too high?
Yeah, and you normally wear a dress shirt with shorts, but whatever, dude. You didn't ask us to critique it.
Never send us your photo.
He said, I remember, being a kid, my dad would lay on his back and snore like a man. I said, I'm actually not too insecure about my masculinity. Obviously not with that shirt. But it's how I sleep. All of a sudden, I'm self-conscious about it. Am I sleeping wrong? Do other guys worry about this? Would women judge me for this, or am I just crazy?
I sleep the same way, and I would gladly be the little spoon for James.
He's the perfect little spoon.
That's not helping him, I'm sure, in his search for masculinity.
Who there?
But yeah, it's odd. It's a little odd.
Looks like he
but
puts a pillow also by his leg, so he puts his leg up on a pillow, it looks like, which is one more advanced step. I don't do that, but
which it is. They tell you they recommend.
They do
say
recommend that. It's good to align. They actually bought a little. I can't use it though because it's too uncomfortable.
Yeah, I was gonna say anything I've ever tried to use.
There's a little pillow you can buy to put between your legs. It's supposed to align your back better.
Right.
If you're a side sleeper and stuff, but
this is a regular.
Yeah, it doesn't feel great to me. Yeah, it's an uncomfortable way to sleep. But yeah, sorry about your outfits.
His sleep looks fine. His outfits maybe.
Yeah. I don't think, Lisa, you wouldn't judge a guy that stuff like that, right?
No.
Right. So it's not a thing that would concern women. I think it's just in your head. So yeah, focus maybe more on your Easter blouse. And that kind of
I think he's probably feeling like this because something hit like TikTok a while back, and it was about
why girls sleep that way. And I believe they were trying to insinuate that it was like trying to turn us on as guys. And that would either be because the leg would go up on us, you know, or just from the reverse angle, the bum looks better. You know? So I just wonder if because that stuff was like, it had hit TikTok like probably 6 months ago, if like he saw that and he was like, wait a second, like that's what girls are doing?
Oh, maybe that's where
That's what girls,
about it.
like girls sleep that way?
This guy said the way he sleeps isn't feminine at all. It's the way he gives HJs at the truck stop. That could be
problematic.
Sounds like somebody who's familiar with this.
Yeah. Oh, poor guy.
He's giving me an HJ at the truck stop.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Easter blouse. I know, man.
Oh, man.
Hey, listen, you write us with an email, you never know where it's going.
No.
That's the risk you take. Jason thinks now he's got a whole new complex to handle.
Oh,
Yeah,
and he does, right? We've just...
Sorry about that, but you sent the photo.
You did. I ditched the white belt and the Easter blouse. At least.
Yeah.
That's tough.
It is weird.
It does. It looks like it.
Yeah, it does.
He's got like bunch of sleeves, like the
purpley Easter color, right? That light purple.
Well,
Easter
you know,
color.
it's, oh man, I shouldn't say this. I really shouldn't say this.
All right, make it worse. Go ahead.
No, so in baseball, like every once in a while, you will end up playing a team that I would say is more from a highfalutin town. And one of the things you know is that you always know you're playing one of those teams when at least one dad has pink shorts on. You know it every time.
Yeah.
You know it every time.
Highfalutin pink shirt.
I was like, there he is. Pink short guy.
That's
Pink shorts.
a funny barometer.
Yep. You know when you're playing the teams from the nice place.
Right. And then the other end
Oh,
is
my.
probably flame shorts with regular.
Exactly. You also know when you're playing them too.
So, good luck, dude. We don't think the way you sleep is any big concern. You have maybe possibly some other concerns that you should focus on. Outside of that, we wish you all the best. He's fine. Thanks for reaching out. If you ever want to reach out to be critiqued, email at davidshutthefreak.com.
What a bad idea.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well,
Rate
some people are into it.
Chuck, rate you.
Some people are into it, right?
Yeah,
So
I
you make
guess.
money for that. You want us to rip you apart? Email at davidshutthefreak.com.
I never thought that we could like turn people on by like
Rating them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird.
We do that well.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Maybe
It took
make money.
James. It took James 2 seconds.
You did.
Like that guy.
Sleeping like a normal dude. That's how I
Exactly.
sleep. I just don't sleep in that feminine of a top. I'm sure.
Yeah.
And trust me,
God, stop
I'm
talking.
probably one of the most feminine, non-gay people alive.
That's true.
One of the most feminine, non-gay people alive.
Real shame.
All right, coming up right now, we got celebrity dirt and sports news on the way. Which star is coming out with their own line of magic mushrooms? How did the TV show The Office help save a little girl's life? And we look back on Conan O'Brien's 28-year run on late-night TV as well. First, though, the Olympics are typically a grand celebration as thousands of people gather in one spot from across the globe for the sake of competition. Of course, this is no ordinary Olympics, and with that celebration also comes fear as time winds down to the Summer Games in Tokyo. I forget that Japan has an emperor.
They still have.
They still have an emperor,
but not.
So it must be like in the Queen of England way, right? Like
It has to be. Yeah, it
But
has
he's
to.
the head of the imperial palace, I believe.
Okay.
That's what they say over there. Emperor Naruhito is extremely worried that the Olympics could expedite the spread of coronavirus. His Majesty, they say, is worried about the situation. The Grand Steward of his household said. While there are voices of unease among the public, the Emperor is concerned that holding the Olympics may lead to the expansion of infections. Concerns regarding COVID-19 protocols for visiting athletes and teams are also coming into question as a second member of Uganda's team tested positive for the virus when they arrived in Japan. The Prime Minister says they are moving ahead with the Tokyo Games, which open July 23rd. It's just too late to do anything now. You're like less than a month away.
Yeah, they should have. If they were going to call them off, they should have.
They
done
would
it
have had to
a
do
while
it.
ago.
There's too much money and too much riding on this now, too.
All I can think about is that there can't be a lot of emperors still. I think there's more emperors.
Do you think there's more emperors than kings?
How many? Oh, well, I guess I was grouping them all together.
No, like an emperor to me is like different. How many emperors are there today?
Let's find out.
Emperor. 25. Royal.
Well, so though, but that's like you put them all together.
Oh, no, the only emperor in the world today is the Emperor of Japan, but he lacks political power. Oh. So there's 25 royal families, but there's only one emperor left in the world, and that's that guy. Wow. That's pretty, that's gotta be pretty cool.
What does...
The world's only, the only emperor left.
So Kim Jong-un...
Supreme leader.
Supreme leader.
Not emperor.
That's right.
Yeah,
Which has that's got a crazy ring to it. It does. I'm the Supreme Leader. Supreme Leader.
Yeah.
Just a made-up...
Who did his dad take out?
That's a weird story.
Or his grandpa, right?
Yeah, so
it would have been...
Kim Il-sung.
Yeah.
And he was the guy that's he was the patriarch, but some people say that he's not even really that guy.
Right.
Like, he was in a war and then acted like a guy, and then everybody believed him, and then he became Kim Il-sung.
Oh, wow.
Then,
right.
Yeah, and then Kim Jong-il, his son, he was like a nerdy kid of this Kim Il-sung, and he just made movies. Like, and he loved American movies and stuff, and they made him the head of the propaganda machine over there.
And then Kim Jong-un.
Yeah.
Just
crazy.
Who's lost, I guess, like 40 pounds, and the big thing is they think he's gravely ill.
He's always great. Didn't he die twice? And he's always sick. And then next time I see him, he just looks the same. Sometimes I think he was like, he might have said, "Oh my God, I feel like I need to go on a diet." And then like everyone around him is like, "You look so great. You look like you dropped the 40 pounds. I put it in the news that you dropped the 40 pounds." And then we'll see him again, and he'll look exactly the same haircut,
right?
Same everything.
Oh, his hair never changes.
No,
his hair doesn't change at all. His sister always looks like she just killed somebody.
Well, she probably did.
Right before that picture was taken.
Yeah.
All right, will the fact that he's now a major movie star take John Cena away from wrestling?
It's time anyway, I think. Pretty soon.
He says no. The 44-year-old, he's out promoting the new Fast and Furious movie this week, and he actually made his WWE debut back in 1999. Of course, quickly became a fan favorite, holds a special place in James's heart. He's earned 16 world championship titles. He was asked straight out, "Are you going to go back to wrestling?" And he said, 100%. I'll definitely be back. I just don't know when yet.
Him versus The Rock. Him versus The Rock. WrestleMania.
Yeah, that'd be a fun main event. Yeah, he started the whole, I think, the whole progression era.
Yeah. No, he carried the company for
a long time.
Yeah, a long time.
A long time while I wasn't even in wrestling.
Yeah.
Who's this clown?
And
yeah, exactly. I thought the same thing.
He's the bad guy in this new Fast and Furious movie, right?
Correct.
Yeah. That'll be big for him to see.
Because has he done a bad guy role yet? I haven't seen him do it.
Not really. It's always been like a comedy. It's always been like a comical role is what he's played, or like the hero, like the Marine type.
Yeah. So he's like, what's his name?
Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel's evil brother.
Yes.
That's what he.
Yes.
That's what he plays. Okay.
Mm-hmm. His bad boy brother.
So F9 hits theaters today, and its ticket sales are already the biggest in 2021 so far, as you would expect. We knew this would be the biggest release post-pandemic. They say it's become a success internationally, already hitting 300 million worldwide before it's even released in the U.S. That's second only to Godzilla vs. Kong. But it's the biggest pre-seller of tickets in 2021. They say it'll probably open in the $70 million range for an opening weekend. That obviously won't break any records, but for a pandemic box office that's still recovering, it's pretty big.
Yeah, I mean, that movie is designed to do very well.
That's a movie for the big screen, right?
It's for the big screen. It's for the masses. It's got a lot of the right ingredients.
Gonna have lots of vroom vroom and boom boom.
Yep. It's James's review. Oh my God! I swear to God, I wish you got to see it and said that as the official comment, and it made it to a poster.
I got the invite. I got an invite to the screening. I just didn't have the time to read.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
But that's how you break it down, man. What do you think Fast and Furious 9 is going to be? A lot of vroom vroom and a lot of boom boom.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they say. James Campbell says.
Yeah, you got to
Let's play a game, shall we?
That's what America wants, though. Boom, 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 obviously, right?
Yeah, it's like the Dave and Chuck, the freak of movies.
Yes, absolutely. We're boom, boom,
Your
boom, boom.
days are done.
It's like boom and boom boom in the morning. I don't agree with that. I do.
Never know what hits you.
No, that's true.
All right, Britney Spears spoke out again yesterday. This time, though, in an Instagram post. She said, quote, "I don't want people to think my life is perfect because it's definitely not at all. And if you've read anything about me in the news this week, you obviously know it's not. I apologize for pretending like I've been okay the past 2 years. I did it because of my pride, and I was embarrassed to share what was really happening to me. But honestly, who doesn't want to capture their Instagram in a fun light? Believe it or not, pretending that I'm okay has actually helped me," she said. "I feel like Instagram has helped me have a cool outlet to share my presence, existence, and to simply feel like I matter, despite what I was going through in my personal life."
You could tell she wasn't doing great. You could tell she's struggling, even though she's trying to pretend like everything's okay.
But do you think most people didn't notice that? They
No,
thought,
most
"Oh."
people did.
They did?
Yeah.
I think that's where the whole free Britney stuff sort of started, right? It was like, wow,
Messages
look at her.
in the Instagram posts,
Yeah.
too, of kind of what she's going through.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. On a related note, Planned Parenthood has not surprisingly thrown its support behind Britney after her revelation that her conservatorship won't let her remove her IUD. I read some of the audio leaked in the courtroom.
I thought I heard some of it. I saw a headline, but I couldn't click it.
Treacherous dogs are put down.
I didn't because I thought it was supposed to be all like shut down.
I swear I thought yesterday was probably on but that someone turned it into like, outside of the IUD thing is real sick and deranged. That's crazy. The $2,000 a week she gets, and she's got $60 million.
Yeah, she's working for it.
Yeah, like that's it's just not right.
Yeah, but I think this is fake. There was no
Probably is
cameras
fake.
allowed in there. Look, you can see it.
Well, no,
Well,
that's
that's
just a
fake,
photo. That's
but
just a
the
photo.
audio
But I got the audio. Yeah.
Because I don't think I was left when I came to work for the last time. I brought 4 sheets of paper in my hands and wrote in length what I had been through the last 4 months before I came there. The people who did that to me should not be able to walk away so easily. I was on tour in 2008.
It sounds like that's what she said in court. Yeah, but it was never supposed to be out there. It was supposed to be a closed court. Obviously, the transcripts, the actual audio.
Yeah, I could see someone in her family investing some of her money, keeping some of it aside, keeping some of it safe, maybe protecting it from if she gets married again, putting something in writing where they can get her money, protecting her in some way, but giving her her money.
Yeah, there's something that she like can't even get into her own car and goes like they were preventing her.
Yeah. Well,
I heard that if she couldn't get into her boyfriend's car, she was never allowed. He was never allowed to drive her around. Yeah, maybe it's her own car. I don't know. So many weird restrictions, like kind of like unbelievable.
Is it almost like they have whatever motions going on and they have it like they're tracking it with all times.
She always has to have it take her everywhere.
And like I said, if there was a real history of like, man, if we give her $10,000 a week, she's definitely gonna buy drugs with it. Like if that was the case, I could understand, but I don't think there's any like tie-in. Because your job is to try to, take care of her, protect her from herself, right? And I think that's what you're going to argue. Is there any way that Britney doesn't win this? No, I think that it's going to be really hard for her to win because they say that conservatorships are the most So like all this, she'll do it all. And because if they can prove that she has mental illness that is long lasting, or like something like that's the whole point of it in the first place. So it's really hard to get conservatorships removed.
And like I said, I don't think she's better. I don't think there's like...
No, but I think America needs to realize people shouldn't be forced to live with those conditions, right? People had no idea how restrictive her conservatorship is.
Yeah. And I think she talks to so many therapists and psychologists and stuff, like it's impossible for her to like separate herself from what she was, the problems she had.
Last night was Conan O'Brien's last night on television, at least as a late-night TV host. He's been doing this for 28 years, believe it or not. Started with Late Night with Conan O'Brien on NBC from 1993 to 2009. He did 7 months on The Tonight Show, which was horrible for everyone involved. And then TBS gave him his own show, Conan, from 2010 until last night. Will Ferrell was one of the many stars in this hour-long event, and this is what he said to him on his final show. He was on Zoom from Boston.
Thank you, Will. You've always been such an amazing friend to my show.
Yes, about that. I was there for your final late night show and your last night show episode,
Hello, my friend.
and now this one.
Yeah, that's true. It's kind of become a tradition.
I'll tell you what it is. It's f***ing exhausting.
Bye for now.
Could I just pre-tape a few goodbyes and you can just use them whenever your next several shows flame out? Congratulations on an outstanding run on your HBO Max show. 6 episodes is a lot, but you packed enough entertainment in them for 8 episodes.
That's great.
It's me, Will. And I just want to say we all deeply miss late night talk show on Al Jazeera Network.
So very funny. I got some clips of it this morning. But still, I will say, this is one of our all-time favorite Conan moments here on the show. The way they set it up, of course, the clip we've loved for years, and then the reaction. Here is one of our favorite moments from the Conan O'Brien show.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, as some of you may know, we here at Late Night often like to show clips from Walker, Texas Ranger. Well, folks, there is one clip from Walker, Texas Ranger that we've been holding back on. In fact, this is true. We've been afraid to show it. But it's spring cleaning, and I want to test just how good a crowd this is. So here it is. The one Walker clip we've never shown. Once you see it, you'll understand why.
And how you doing, little brother?
Fine. And it's little visitor now. Attaboyoli is how you say it in Cherokee.
Pardon my French, but I'll be damned.
Walker told me I had AIDS.
He's just looking out into the backdrop of his set.
I think we should go to commercial. All right, there's one last one. God. Finally, here's a tape we've never shown labeled Pizza Delivery. That's all it says, Pizza Delivery. I don't even remember what's on it.
It goes on to the other one there.
Now, loud, no.
Walker told me.
That's quite a TV moment.
What's hilarious is how long he did sit on that. And then we're like, this is hilarious.
But we can't. What can I do? What are we going to do? Great clips.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's what I say.
Absolutely.
You know, when I think at first, when you get word that, something's going to be filming in your town, maybe even in your neighborhood, it's very exciting, right? In Hollywood.
Yeah.
But then, I think it goes very fast. There's restrictions, people want to see where they're filming, like the little town where they filmed the show Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
They can't stand it. It's just
I bet.
inundated with people.
Yeah.
One of the shows that they filmed in, they had to shut down. You know, they didn't like how it was going. It's happening in Pennsylvania now. The HBO hit series Mayor of Easttown, starring Kate Winslet.
Okay.
It actually has become like a pretty big success for HBO, but so big that people are now going to Pennsylvania to try and see the places where this was filmed, and it's driving everyone there pretty damn crazy, they say. Here's the story on that from 6 ABC.
The HBO limited series Mystery Murder Caper centers on Mayor Sheehan, a vape-smoking, Rolling Rock drinking detective played by Kate Winslet. Mayor of Easttown has received wide acclaim and positive reviews, and fans can't stop talking about Winslet's ability to capture that Delaware County accent that highlights the show's authenticity. But success has brought unintended consequences in places where the series was filmed.
We get it's an attraction, and you know HBO has had looks like a pretty big movie here now. But these people live here.
Fans have been flocking to Wallingford, Delaware County in droves where key parts of the series were filmed, including where the fictional mayor character lived. The real homeowner asked that we not use her name or address.
So we've had a few instances where people have come onto our property, one late at night, to look in our front window. I suppose I can only guess to see if it's the same as where they filmed.
She says she asked one woman to please stop taking pictures because she and her children were playing on their front yard. She says the lady cursed at her.
She just yelled at me and harassed me. Yes, she harassed me.
It's gotten that ugly now.
Yeah.
Going on somebody's property, harassing them, foul language, blocking the street, it's not needed. And, you know, to be totally honest with you, it's disrespectful.
One publication actually encouraged people to stalk the properties and listed the actual addresses while also telling people not to trespass or bother the residents. But Nether Providence police have had to increase patrols in the area due to a number of complaints from residents.
How would you like it if somebody's looking through your windows, you know, and walking up onto your property?
This homeowner has had to post no trespassing and private property signs on her property. She says her little girl has become fearful of all the people flocking to their home.
She's afraid to go outside. She's afraid to play.